Hi, welcome to this week's G.I. Joe toy review. Today we will be reviewing the Cobra Worms. Last week I told you that this was going to be a sentimental video because I'm dedicating this to my mom. And the reason being that I'm dedicating this to my mom is because when I was a kid at the age of 9, which was when the vintage version of this figure was made, but he was a vehicle driver and the vehicle was called the Maggot. So this is the driver of that vehicle, Worms. And of course, let me go in by stating this, like, if I am your mother or father, or if I am your father, and you say, Dad, can you get me the Maggot with worms? I would say son and or daughter, that is kind of gross. What's a maggot with worms? And then you show me the vehicle and the driver, I'd probably get it. So that's basically what happened with me as a kid. Is I begged my mom for this, for the Maggot with worms, and it kind of grossed her out until she actually saw what it was. And she finally got it. So let's start with our shout outs of the week before we get to the review of Mr. Worms. So here's our shout outs. Back to the Media on 41 South Loudon Street in Winchester, Virginia. And you can find them at their website at www.backtothemedia.com. You can email them at backtothemedia@gmail.com. And you can also find them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And they do a lot of Facebook Live auctions right now, so that's pretty cool. But you can find all your video games and video game systems dating all the way back to the Atari. And you can also get music, movies, and more from there. Which is actually got some great deals. You guys also get like Funko Pops and whatnot. And while you're in the area, go down to Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles at 115 South Loudon Street. That's where you can pick up a whole lot of like collectible comics and toys and other collectibles, movies and others. And you can actually get the stuff, and it'd actually be pretty cool. And while you're in the neighborhood, go ahead and check them out. And right now they're doing a come in and buy a specific item or ask about a specific item only due to this COVID-19 pandemic. But it's all still cool. Hopefully by the time this video is posted, it'll start to be clearing up. But this is time for the feature presentation in Worms. And as always, customary, we'll start with the file card. It says Cobra Artillery Commander, codename Cobra Worms Officer. Which I'm not sure exactly what the worm stands for, but it is an acronym. So if you know what it stands for, please put it in the comment sections below. And it starts off with file name Akilika Quentin P. I know I butchered that last name. Primary military specialty is Artillery Corps Commander. Secondary military specialty is Missile and Munitions Systems. Birthplace is Honolulu, Hawaii. And he is grade of a general. The Cobra Worms Officer leads the field artillery branch and provides his in-depth knowledge of fire support weapons systems. Each of the self-propelled artillery vehicle specialists he commands is cross-trained within their blanket specialty. He can man any position on any artillery vehicle, be it driver, gunner, loader, and diesel mechanic. They are capable of utilizing cannons, rockets, and missile fire to neutralize enemy forces. The Cobra Worms Officer operates from a central fire control vehicle to oversee batteries of Cobra maggots. From his vantage point, he sends target information using fire coordinates, the method of or let me start this paragraph over. The Cobra Worms officer operates from a central fire control vehicle to oversee batteries of Cobra maggots. From his vantage point, he says target information using the fire discipline communications via an encrypted inter-vehicle information system. He then coordinates the method of engagement, including the use of EMC restraint, fire and forget self-targeting, and proximity fused heat, high explosive anti-tank rounds. He never calls ceasefire until all enemy forces on the battlefield are decimated. And then there's a quote here at the bottom. It says, "Time for righteous firepower." Actually, here's the acronym right here at the bottom of the file card. I didn't even notice. WORMS actually stands for Weapons Ordnance Rugged Machine Specialist. So that's pretty sweet. So let's take a look at his accessories, starting with the figure stand, upraised Cobra logo, Cobra Worms officer. So let's take a look at his accessories, starting with his little pistol. Whoa, Butterfingers right now. So there's the little pistol, pretty sweet looking. He also comes with this little control panel, which actually launches his little missile bomb right here. And he also comes with his little Rocket Man helmet with the antenna. I like this one better, the Modern Vigor better, because the antenna is actually attached to the helmet better than it being a plug-in and very losable like the vintage figures was. But this is a very, very sweet helmet. So let's take a look at Worms. In a ugly puke brown uniform with a mustard shirt with mustard gloves, black belt, really decorated pins right there on the vest, down to his black boots. So let's take a look at the articulation of Worms. His head does rotate the full 360. His arm can lift to about there. His arm can rotate all the way around. He can bend at the elbow, as well as rotate full 360. He does have a actual postable of his arm, of his hand, as well as full 360 in range of circulation. He does have the abcrest feature, but it's underneath this general's jacket, bulky general's jacket, but it's still cool. His legs can bend about here because of the bulkiness of the jacket. He lift his leg to about right there. He's got the double knee joint. He can bend his ankle that way. Whoa, almost trapped him on the floor. And he does have the rotation of his ankle. Full 360. So let's take a look at him in gear mode. And here he is in gear mode. I can't fit this little controller in his hand, in either hand. So I just put the missile in this hand. But that's how he is when he looks up. He does look like Rocket Man. From that old 1990s Disney movie. For those of you that remember that far. If you're too young to actually know what that video is, if you're born in the 2000s or later, you would have no idea what this video is. So go and ask your family about it. The older generation, they might know that movie. But it was a good movie. It was alright. It had Brandon Fraser in it, but it was still a good movie. But this is Worms. Even though his uniform is puke brown, very ugly brown, the helmet has a lot to be desired for. The weapon is the missile is a good looking missile, but it's in that puke brown color. You can't fit the control device in either one of his hands. The gun is kind of cool, but it's still kind of weird looking. But other than that, those are my only complaints. But other than that, this is an awesome, awesome figure. I got a lot of fond memories with it. And as well as the maggot that he drove. But he was a very, very, very popular figure back in my day. And as well as the vehicle. And I would rank this as a upper middle tier figure. I wouldn't quite place him on the top tier. But he was a great, great figure when I was a kid. I would highly recommend people getting this figure. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And tune in next week as we do the review the Hardmaster, who I don't have sitting with me at the moment. But I will review the Hardmaster next week. But this has been the Worms action figure. So tune in next week. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. And on knowing, stay safe, sanitize, and social distance up to 6 feet. That's COVID regulations. But I'd like to keep y'all around to keep watching my channel, because if it wasn't for y'all, this channel wouldn't exist. So stay safe out there. Thanks to all the essential workers, the nurses, the people on the front line, the nurses on the front line, as well as all the food service people that are still working at like McDonald's and in the nursing homes and in the hospitals and everywhere else that still serves food. Thank you guys also as well. Y'all deserve it just as much. We appreciate you all as well as like the Walmart personnel and grocery stores. Thank y'all for staying open and serving the community. So I would love to thank y'all for that, and as well as doctors, nurses, and medical staff, as well as house cleaners and whatnot that still work every day and is on the front line dealing with this COVID crisis. Thank y'all so much for all y'all's hard work. And on that note, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. See y'all in the next one. Love you guys.